Now that we've identified and assessed our needs in relation to workplaces, let's go through the two most common type of interview questions and strategies for answering them. Before we start, however, let's review some points about interview formats and etiquette. In terms of interview length, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours or more, depending on the institution and format. In terms of interview types you will encounter, it could be one-on-one, a panel of 10 plus. It could be a Skype interview. A new trend for people interviewing in clinics are to include case presentations. Basically, you or they will pick a challenging case and you'll present on it. In terms of what to wear, generally professional conservative dress is best, very little makeup and jewelry, clothes that fit. In terms of location, you want to plan ahead and be early. Case the joint. Make sure that you know where everything is because there's nothing worse than getting lost on the morning of your interview. Now, two interview question types that you're likely to be asked in an interview are open-ended questions and behavioral questions. For this next section, please pull out your Tell No List handout for the next few slides. So first, let's talk about open-ended questions. Examples of these questions include, why should we hire you? And why are you interested in this position? One of the most popular open-ended questions is, can you tell me about yourself? Common mistakes when answering this question is that they are often too long, partly because it's a very broad question. Your goal is to respond to this question in under 2 minutes. Another common mistake is providing too much personal information. I've interviewed applicants who took this question quite literally and gave me a chronological timeline of their lives from when they were born to how many siblings they have. With broad, open-ended questions like tell me about yourself, your strategy is to think about the larger question behind it. Specifically, the employer wants to know, 1, if you have the academic training, 2, professional skills and experience to this position to succeed. They're also assessing your interest in the position and the organization. Your job is to summarize these areas when responding to these questions. And a really good way to do that is to review their job description. Based on that, creating a tell list that summarizes your relevant training, experience, and interest in the position is key. Your response to the tell me about yourself question basically synthesizes the most relevant aspects of your tell list. On the screen is an example of a CNS grad tell list who's applying for a role that focuses on working with bone marrow transplant patients. You'll notice that in terms of things that she's chosen to highlight, is patient care, the setting she's worked in, leadership, and education. The reason she's interested in working with bone marrow transplant patients is because she wants to have a leadership role in planning, implementing, and evaluating new ways to care for bone marrow transplant patients. So she's got a very specific reason for applying to this position. Here is how a person can take the information from their Tell No List to answer the tell me about yourself question. The answer is separated by 2 parts. The first, summarizing your range of experience and explaining why you're interested in the position and organization. This response to tell me about yourself is modeled after the CNS grad whose tell list was on the previous slide. Take a minute to read it here, and we'll see you in the next clip. You might also want to fill out your own Tell No List after you read this response.